from the middle of the 12th century until the closing years of the 15th. A single family ruled England. They were soldiers, lawgivers, tyrants, and reformers. For 300 years, the Plantagenets shaped the destiny of England. In 1154, a young man of just 21 years old was crowned King of England. His name was Henry, the first of the Plantagenet kings. Energetic, ambitious, and fiercely intelligent, Henry II would go on to build one of the greatest empires medieval Europe had ever seen. From the Highlands of Scotland to the Pyrenees of Spain, his dominions stretched across England, Wales, Ireland, and vast swathes of France. Historians call it the Angevin Empire. But Henry's reign would be shaped just as much by the woman he married. Eleanor of Aquitaine was unlike any queen England had ever seen. She was one of the wealthiest and most powerful women in Europe, heir to the rich duchy of Aquitaine in southwestern France. Eleanor had already been Queen of France as the wife of Louis VII, but their marriage had been loveless. In 1152, shocking all of Christendom, Eleanor divorced Louis, and within weeks, she married Henry. This union was more than just personal, it was political. With Eleanor came not only her legendary charm and charisma, but also the vast territories of Aquitaine. In an instant, Henry's power doubled. Together, the pair ruled an empire that rivaled even that of the French king. Henry was relentless. He rarely sat still, constantly on the move across his dominions. He reformed the English justice system, introducing trial by jury and strengthening the power of royal courts. He curbed the independence of unruly barons, laying the foundations of English common law that survive to this day. To many, Henry was the first true administrative king of England, a ruler who governed as much with pen and parchment as with sword and shield. But for all his brilliance, Henry was also deeply flawed. His temper was infamous, his affairs were many, and it was in his personal life that his empire began to fracture. Eleanor of Aquitaine was no passive consort. She had ruled in her own right long before Henry, and she had no intention of being sidelined. Their marriage, once so powerful, became a battlefield of its own. By the 1170s, their sons had grown restless. Richard, Geoffrey, and John each sought greater power. Eleanor, alienated by Henry's infidelities and frustrated at her lack of influence, encouraged them to rise against their father. The result was the Great Revolt of 1173 to 1174. A rebellion that shook the Angevin Empire to its core. Henry triumphed. But victory came at a price. Distrust seeped through the royal family. Eleanor herself was captured and imprisoned, held under guard for 16 long years. While Henry continued to rule, the seeds of division had been sown. Henry's final years were marked by bitter conflict with his sons. Betrayed, exhausted, and ill. He died in 1189, his once great empire already showing signs of splintering. Yet from his shadow, Eleanor re-emerged, freed at last. She took up the reins of power as regent for her son, Richard the Lionheart, while he fought on crusade. Even in her 70s, Eleanor was a commanding figure, arranging alliances, negotiating ransoms, and later guiding the troubled reign of her youngest son, John. Together, Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine had built a dynasty that would dominate England for over 3 centuries. The Plantagenets. Their marriage was fiery, tempestuous, and often destructive. But their combined legacy shaped not just England, but the whole of medieval Europe. Henry gave England law and order. Eleanor gave it culture, prestige, and dynastic ambition. And between them, they gave history one of the most dramatic royal stories ever told.